Welcome back to She Will Empower. I'm your host, Jessica Cherry. I'm a strategic intervention and empowerment coach, an NLP practitioner, an award winning writer, a community director, your Central Texas Sound Path girly, and your Tuesday morning wake up club host on 94.3 KWVH Wimberley Valley Radio, where we bring real talk, real tools, and real empowerment straight to the airwaves. And if this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for spending your day with me. And today we are going to talk about something that is everywhere right now, especially in January, more than any other time of the year, but deeply misunderstood. And I feel also gets a bad reputation, or some people brush it off as woo woo. But regardless, it's the season where it is everywhere. So I'm sure you want to know what it is, and I won't keep you waiting. It is manifestation. So let's talk about it. Since it's the buzzword right now, it's literally everywhere. And, it's January. It's literally everywhere. And quite honestly, it's one of my favorite words too. So let's talk about it. Every single new year, we decide this is my year. I'm manifesting a new life. I'm calling in abundance and I'm stepping into my new self, my highest self. And I love those. I love every single one of those and I fully support them. And yet, even though they have this vibe and they are filling their hearts with this emotion, by the end of February or March, so many of these people that are saying these mantras are feeling discouraged, they're feeling stuck, or they're quietly wondering if manifesting is even real because it's just not working for them. So some start thinking maybe this is all woo woo, maybe it's fake or weird or something. Something's going on because it's not working. Or maybe they think maybe it's only working for certain people and not me. And maybe some people are thinking, well, maybe I'm just doing all of this all wrong. So today's episode is not about hype. It's not about aesthetics or your vision board or your Pinterest board or any of that. We're not going down that route. It is not about bypassing reality either, because I've been seeing that and we're not going down that rabbit hole. This episode is about why manifestation gets people stuck and how to understand it in a grounded, clear, real life way. Because manifestation is not magic. Okay. I need to repeat that because I feel like people think it's some sort of magic. It's not. Manifestation is not magic. It's not fake. And it's definitely not passive. Manifestation is simply this. And this is what I live by and personally how I get to so many things that I want in my life. Manifesting is action plus consistency. That's it. That's all it is. It's action plus consistency. And when people miss one of those two pieces of that equation, especially action, which is super important, they feel stuck, they feel frustrated, and they definitely feel confused. See, here's the thing. You can't just think of something and expect it to magically appear like a white bunny popping out of a magician's hat. No, you have to do the work. You have to do the work to get what you want. So today, we're going to define what manifesting actually is. We're going to break down why it's not woo-woo at all. And we're going to talk about why people miss the action piece of manifestation. We're also going to walk through 5 major manifestation mistakes that keep people stuck in their ways. And I'm going to share real life examples so this doesn't stay theoretical. I actually put it to a real life situation. And at the end, with grounded support if you want to go even deeper. So, this episode is about helping you understand what's been missing and not making you feel like you failed because you have not. Okay, so let's dive in. First off, what is manifestation, right? Let's start clearly by clearing the fog and saying what it is not first. Manifestation is not sitting and waiting around for things to fall in your lap or fall from the sky and you don't get to do anything for it. No, it's not that. Sorry about that. Manifestation is also not hoping something shows up knocking on your door because you thought it up in your head, so it has to come to life because that's what you want and you do nothing for it and you just want it to show up. No, manifestation is not that. Manifestation is not positive thinking without follow through on any of it because come on, that ends up being just a nice thought, right? And manifestation is not pretending everything is fine when it's actually not. Manifestation is not any of that. It's not magic. Manifestation is intentional creation. It's the process of getting clear, really clear about what you want. And the clearer, the better. You want crystal clearness on what you want. It's also aligning your behavior with that direction consistently. So, not just a one and done, right? Being consistent is key here. You have to be consistent. And it's also repeating actions consistently enough that your life has no choice but to change. Some people like to call it fake it till you make it. And I don't know if you've heard that, but there is a fake it till you make it mentality. Now, I don't think it's fake. And I don't think it's fake because if you're really putting in the work, that's not fake. That's just my opinion on that phrase, but I don't think fake it till you make it is fake if you're really putting the work real life. I think it's real. It's just you evolving into a new person. So, manifestation works whether you believe in it or you don't believe in it. Either or, it still works because it's not spiritual fluff, because manifestation is cause and effect. It's as simple as that. It's cause and effect. So you're always manifesting, always. So the real question is this: are you manifesting intentionally or are you manifesting by default? So let me give you a real life example here before we go further. So, someone who says, I don't believe in manifestation, but goes to work every day on time, pays bills consistently every single month. Their cell phone is paid, their mortgage is paid, their insurance is paid every single month. Every single bill that they have is paid. They show up reliably for themselves, for their work, for their friends. They're just always reliable. They are manifesting stability. Now, on the flip side, you can also have someone who consistently avoids hard conversations, consistently avoids discussions, or lets things pile up on them and doesn't pay their bills on time and shows up either late or they ghost people completely. Those people, guess what they're manifesting? They are manifesting chaos. And manifestation is simply the result of repeated actions over time. Now, let's get into why manifesting isn't woo woo, okay? Manifesting gets labeled as woo woo because it's often explained poorly. When we strip it down, it's grounded in neuroscience, it's grounded in psychology, it's grounded in behavioral conditioning, and it's grounded in identity reinforcement. So, your brain is a pattern recognition machine. Your nervous system learns through repetition, and your identity form is based on what you consistently do. Consistent. So, that's not magic at all. That's biology. And when you take consistent action with yourself and you focus your decisions on your life based on the goals that you want, you, number one, build self trust, right? You also rewire your expectations and you create evidence that changes your internal narrative. So, let me give you a real life example on this. Think about learning how to drive. So, go back in your memory and think about when you learned how to drive. So, I was about 15 when I learned how to drive, and I remember that feeling. At first, it feels so overwhelming, right? You're in your young body. You've never been in a car on the driver's seat before. Do you remember the first time you were behind the wheel of a car and you turned on the car engine and you clicked in your seatbelt and you were just, fixing your mirrors and trying to position your feet correctly on the floorboard and pedals, thinking about where your hands go on the 10 and 2, where's your blinker, how to turn on your blinker, all that. Do you remember that? Do you remember the car you were in? I'm gonna throw back myself, and I was in a Dodge Neon. That was my first car. Do you remember all that? It was totally overwhelming. I had to go to a driving school, and I remember that test, that driving test, plus the written test, plus the Texas test, it was all not only overwhelming, but I think I had several panic attacks back then. I was just so overwhelmed with it all. I didn't have a word for panic attacks back then. So side note is I also had people that already had cars to try to teach me how to drive in empty parking lots. Okay, so back to this. I don't want to drive away from the topic here. So back to this. So at first it's overwhelming, right? But then it just gets awkward. And then after the awkwardness, then it just gets, uncomfortable. But then it gets slightly uncomfortable. And then eventually it's automatic. And it's automatic not because you manifested confidence and didn't do the work and it just came out of thin air. No, it's because you repeated the action. And manifestation works the same way. So let's get to the real formula here. Let's simplify it completely. Manifestation is not thought and then waiting and then hoping. It's not that. That's not what manifesting is. Manifesting is action plus consistently, and it's not perfect action. Okay, let's face it. When you're trying something new, it's messy. And, it's your first time. Of course, it's going to be messy. You're going to make mistakes. It's not your best work, and that's okay. That's okay. That's part of it. It's not inspired action that you take. It's not massive leaps that you take. It's none of that. It's just repeated, aligned movement. Repeated, aligned movement. All of that is so important. It's not just one bold move that's so inspiring and it's your aha moment. It's not that. And that is great. That part is great and it's amazing. But repeated, consistent movements changes lives. And that's where people get stuck. And that's what we're about to unpack. Okay. So let's get into why people miss this action piece. Most people don't miss action because they're lazy. No, they miss it because action is so uncomfortable. See, this is what action does. Action exposes fear. And when your fear is exposed, when you're not ready for it, fear can literally stop you in your tracks. And some don't want to move forward when that happens. They freeze like a deer in headlights, right? So, action also triggers self doubt. So the thoughts of, I can't do it, I'm not qualified to do it, those kind of thoughts that creep up on you and can totally destroy your plans. Action also challenges identity because you can be growing into a totally different person, which can be uncomfortable, really uncomfortable. And if you're doing it publicly, some people will criticize you for changing, right? Some people don't like seeing others grow because it changes the identity that they are comfortable with. And action requires emotional regulation, and that is big. Sometimes emotions can really take us by the throat if we're not ready for it. So, action does all of these intense things. So, visualization feels safe, affirmations feel safe, and journaling feels safe. Action, on the other hand, action requires risk. So people substitute preparation for movement because that feels safer and they've never pulled the trigger and manifesting fizzles out. So I'll give you a real life example of what I actually mean by all this. So the real life example is this. Someone, for example, says they are manifesting a business, right? They're starting a business and they're stuck. And they're stuck on the researching, the planning, the branding, never launching. Some can sit on this for way longer than they need to. I have known a few that can't just jump on it, and they've been just standing on the edge of the cliff, right? With all of their research parachutes and their changing branding logos and all the fonts and the little things. I mean, who cares about the fonts, right? We care a little bit about the fonts, but they are stuck on the fonts and they're stuck on the colors and they never take the leap. That is not manifesting. That's avoiding discomfort, avoiding the scary, avoiding the action part, right? So now that we've talked about that, here are 5 manifestation mistakes keeping people stuck. Number 1, waiting to feel ready. So, readiness is a major, major myth of manifesting. You won't ever feel perfectly ready to do something that you have never, ever done before. There will always be some level of fear or doubt that creeps into your mind. It's always going to be there, it's a part of it. It comes with the territory of trying new things, right? It's part of it. You have to have a little bit of fear when you try new things. It's just A plus B equals C, right? It's there. Confidence comes after action, not before it. I'll give you a real life example. So people wait to feel confident before speaking up or before speaking in front of large crowds or before getting on the microphone or all that. But confidence only comes once they've spoken up repeatedly. So, giving him my example, I am a women's networking organization director, and every month I get up on the mic and speak in front of anywhere on average of 40 to 70 women publicly on the microphone in front of them, sometimes on a stage if there is a stage. I always get asked, how do I do that? Always. It never fails. So at least one person a month will ask me that. And my answer is because I'm used to it. I do it every month. And I have been in front of crowds in one way or another for over 20 years. So on mics, stages, performing, speaking. I have been on TV for the past 4 years. So I don't have that lack of confidence at all. It's just, it comes naturally. But at this point, it's just what I do. There's nothing to it. But take that experience all away from me. I would totally crack at the thought of being on a stage and freezing on a mic. I would totally crack. I don't know if I would do it. My confidence came after that repeated action, not before it. I remember the first time I was on a stage and it frightened me. I remember, I won't go into that because that's another route, but I remember that. And I remember that it took repeated action to feel confident, to feel comfortable, and to feel normal. So that's number one. Mistake number two is inconsistency disguised as alignment. What do I mean by this? Okay, here's a truth bomb coming at you. This is a truth bomb that may sting if it hits home, but I'm totally saying it out of love here for you. People act when they feel motivated and then they stop when it begins to feel hard. So manifestation requires follow through. Manifestation requires follow through. It's not just mood based behavior and it's not inconsistency. It's not lollygagging. It's not inconsistent behavior. Consistency beats intensity every single time. So let's think about the classic tortoise and hare nursery rhyme here, right? The tortoise was consistent and he followed through, and that's what got him the end result that he wanted. So inconsistency disguised as alignment is mistake number two. Mistake number three is trying to manifest outcomes without changing your habits. So that's another truth bomb right there. And I know it will sting. I promise it's for your benefit if it does. Okay, so here we go. You cannot manifest a new life with your old routines. New results require what? New behaviors, period. New results require new behaviors. Let me give you a real life example of this. Wanting abundance, but avoiding money conversations. So, for example, you want to save for a big deposit on something. Maybe it's a house or a car or something. You have a big deposit that you need to make, but yet you still have the same old actions of spending your money on things that you don't need to be spending your money on, right? So, you cannot create new outcomes with old habits. Okay. Another example could be wanting peace, but never setting those boundaries. So, the same people that cross your boundaries and upset you and yet you still have them in your life and you don't talk about your boundaries with them and then you wonder why there's so much drama around you. Well, you didn't set any boundaries. You're acting the same way. How is anybody going to know not to do something to you or around you, right? I mean, so there's the mistake number three right there is trying to manifest outcomes without changing your habits. So let's go on to four. Mistake number four is expecting fast results and then quitting early on yourself. So this also lends itself to consistency. Most people stop right before momentum kicks in. So, what do I mean by this? Consistency compounds quietly until it doesn't, until you quit. Think of the December 1st people in the gym that quit by February 15th. That's a perfect example of this mistake. Most of them wanting a really fast result, but then quit early and then expecting the six pack or whatever they want, and they don't do the work, right? Mistake number five, outsourcing power to the universe. What do I mean by this? Okay, let's get into it. This is a very woo woo one, but I wanted to put this in here because I hear people say, oh, it's out of my hands. And then they don't do any work on it and they just wash their hands of it and they wonder why nothing happened. It's because things respond to movement. Everything around us is cause and effect, right? You still have to show up and do the work for something that you want. You still have to choose. You choose to do the action. You choose to do the hard thing, right? You choose to get up earlier or to do the work or do what you say you're going to do or mean what you say and say what you mean, right? You still have to act. Manifestation isn't surrendering responsibility at all. In fact, it's the opposite. Manifestation is owning it, it's owning the responsibility that comes with the dreams that you want. All right. Let's talk about real life application here. Let's make this practical for us so that we can make 2026 our most amazing year yet. Okay. So, manifesting clarity, how do we do that? We do that by taking action towards it daily, right? We manifest it by doing daily action towards clarity. I'll say manifesting confidence. How do we do that? We do that by doing one uncomfortable thing consistently. If we want confidence, we have to do things that are uncomfortable. Manifesting healing, we practice regulation and setting our boundaries. Easy as that. And manifesting change, we stop waiting for motivation and start honoring our commitment. Ooh, that one kind of stings, right? We stop waiting for motivation and start honoring our commitment if we want to change your commitment. No one else is going to step in and do the hard work for you. You need to do the hard work yourself. So, if you've been stuck, and I've been there before. I mean, I have felt so stuck before I got on this journey of researching and becoming an NLP practitioner and really understanding the brain and how humans have these cycles of behaviors and we can be stuck in a rut. We can totally be stuck in a rut. I have felt this stuck in a rut where you feel like your tires are spinning in a mud uphill, right? And no matter how hard you put the pedal to the metal, how hard you put your foot down, it feels like you're not going anywhere. In fact, sometimes it feels like you're digging your hole even deeper, right? But when you are in that place in life, it doesn't mean that manifestation isn't real. It means consistency has been missing. And that's fixable. That can be fixed. You don't need to overhaul your life. You really don't. You don't need to practice perfect habits because doing something new is messy and it's always going to be messy. And that's kind of the most beautiful thing about it, right? Is when you start something new and you look back and you're like, man, I didn't know what I was doing, but you know what? I did it. So you don't need to have perfect habits and you don't need permission. You don't need to look at your spouse and say like, you know what? I want to go after my dreams. You don't have to look at your mom or dad or friend or coworker. You don't need any permission. If you want to go after your dreams, you go after your dreams. What you need is continued movement. Don't let those dreams die on you. When I was really into writing about this topic, which was a while ago, I was writing it for a speaking engagement I was going to be speaking at, and leveling up was my topic. So I wrote 10 steps from here to your next level, which, if you want that, it's in the show notes. It was written to help you gain clarity and direction when you feel stuck. Because I have felt stuck. I have felt like I was the car in the mud going up the hill and just spinning my wheels. And if you're ready to work deeper with patterns, identity, consistency, the rewired experience will be dropping in the spring to help you to stop repeating the same cycles in your life. So remember, manifestation isn't magic, it's momentum. And momentum is built by action plus consistency. I'm Jessica Cherry, and this is She Will Empower. And if you're tuning in on a Sunday morning through KWVH 94.3 Wimberley Valley Radio, thank you for spending part of your day with me. And remember this, You are capable of far much more than you've allowed yourself to imagine. Your dreams are not too big, and your timeline is not too late. And if you're not where you want to be yet, you always have permission to rewire, reset, and begin again. Thank you for being here today, beautiful friends. If this episode supported you, if it offered a new perspective, a new moment of relief, or even one tool that you can tuck into your back pocket, please share it. Share it with a friend, with a coworker, or with anyone who could use a little more clarity and peace in their world. Because here's the truth: we never know who needs a message until we pass it forward. And that, my friends, is how empowerment spreads into the world. And before you head out, I want you to remember this: you are not alone in your journey. If you need support, if you need tools or guidance or reclaiming your power again, I'm here. You can catch new episodes of She Will Empower every single Sunday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time on KWVH 94.3 Wimberley Valley Radio, and of course, anytime, anywhere on your favorite podcast platform. Just search She Will Empower and I will pop right up for you. And if you're an early riser, come join me every Tuesday morning live on the Wake Up Club on Wimberley Valley Radio from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. It's cozy, it's fun, it's full of great Texas and Americana music and conversations. Truly so much fun, an amazing way to start your morning. And you can also download the app and listen on your phone as well. And if you're in Central Texas and your nervous system feels fried, overwhelmed, tired, shot, like you're running on fumes, come see me in person at Lone Star Sound Bath. Just search Lone Star Sound Baths on social media and you'll find me. I guide immersive sound bath experiences designed to help you soften, settle, and reset your mind, your body, and your spirit. It's one of the most healing things I provide, and I absolutely love serving our community this way. I love helping turn a new leaf and melt the stressors away. And you can also connect with me through Ladies Lifestyle Network Hayes County, where I host monthly empowerment and networking events. These gatherings are full of powerful speakers, local nonprofits, incredible vendors, and amazing hill country venues. Women come to these events to grow, to be seen, and to rise together. And I've witnessed beautiful friendships and life changing business connections form right in these rooms. It's an amazing thing to see. And if you want to follow my personal journey, motherhood, entrepreneurship, healing, and the behind the scenes of our family life, which includes raising two little ones, you can find me on Life of a Cherry Wife on social media. Just search Life of a Cherry Wife and I will pop right up for you. Thank you so much for tuning in today, for showing up, for doing the work, and for choosing growth even when it stretches you. And before you go, I want you to do one small thing for your future self, even something tiny, because one tiny move today can become the moment that changes everything for your life. Tiny moves create big impact, and big impact changes lives. So stay powerful, stay connected, stay true to yourself, true to your dreams. Manifest everything you want in 2026. I am rooting for you. I am rooting for your dreams to come true. I am rooting for your heart to be aligned, for your soul to feel happy, and for you to get everything your heart desires. I will see you next time. Bye.